one night when I was 14, I was lying in my bed crying because of what happened that day. That day, I was walking down the hall at school and I saw a girl I liked. We talked a bit before, so she knew who I was, but she didn't know me that much. I didn't know her that much, but I knew I liked her. So I just wanted to come up and say hi. And that was the perfect opportunity because she was standing alone. And boys one of the concerns that boys have when approaching girls is that they often are in groups. So it's pretty difficult, right? Because you don't want to be judged by a whole group of people. But that girl that I liked, she was standing alone. So I think she was reading a textbook or her notebook. So I wanted to come and say hi, but I didn't. I just walked past her and I couldn't. And it wasn't just because I was shy. It was because of my stutter. I was too ashamed of it. I was too afraid that I'm going to stutter when talking to her. So the anxiety got the better of me and I just didn't do it. And it wasn't just like the first time I didn't do something because I was afraid of my stutter. It was just one of multiple instances of that. So that night, I cried. I cried because I felt helpless. I cried because I felt like I'm cursed. I cried because I felt like there's something wrong with me. And it also wasn't the only night or the first night that I cried because of my stutter. Usually, when I was so overwhelmed with grief, I would just pray or wish my stutter to go away. I also hated myself a lot because of it. I would mock myself for my stutter, like stutter. And I would hate myself. I often imagined the version of me that didn't stutter. I imagined this very confident, social man, or I guess boy, because I was still 14, but I imagined myself being outgoing. I imagined being the life of the party. I imagined having multiple friends because I didn't really have that many. I was imagining myself impressing other people with, I don't know, doing some cool, like saying cool jokes or cool stories. And that contrast between who I actually was and who I wanted to be was killing me. I hated myself. I despised myself. I despised my stutter. I thought I was cursed. I thought that was the worst thing that could happen. And I thought that would be... And I thought my fate is just to be alone. I thought I would be forever alone because, well, if I'm too anxious to approach a girl now, it's probably not going to change. It did change. As years went by, I learned how to manage my stutter. Oddly enough, I don't really stutter when I'm alone. So if you're not a stutterer yourself, you probably won't even notice those small stumbles that I do. I managed to live with it. I never really allowed it to somehow prevent me from doing things that I wanted, but it's still there. This hatred, this desire for it to be gone is still there. I became numb to it. So let's say now, if I went to a store and wanted to buy bread, and I would say, "Hello, I would like to buy bread," I would probably like notice that or like feel micro shame for like half a second, but then I would just move on. If that happened when I was 14, and that did happen quite a lot, that would be like my day would be just ruined. So as I said, I became numb to it, but being numb isn't exactly the same as acceptance, is it? I've been going to therapy for the last year and a half, and during that time, I learned a lot how to embrace myself, essentially, how to be okay with my personality, my feelings, how to process the trauma. So I guess being okay or accepting my past, right? But this stutter is this huge area that I don't really want to look at, and I haven't fully embraced yet because I'm still anxious for people to see my stutter, because throughout the years it was very, very embarrassing for me, for strangers, for people that I didn't know, to notice my stutter. So again, I'm numb to it, but I haven't accepted it. And I'm recording this during the last week of December 2022. And I have a wish for myself for 2023 and onwards. That wish is to fully accept and maybe eventually love my stutter. Now, why would I love it? Because as far as I know, there's no cure to it. As far as I know, this is gonna be my condition for the rest of my days. So while it's here, I may as well learn to love it, right? Because it's a part of me, and I want to love myself. And as much as I hated my stutter throughout the years, my hatred didn't really make it go away either. So if I can't fight it, maybe I can join it. So my wish is to love my stutter. And now I'm gonna end this video with a question for you. Is it possible for you to accept and maybe eventually down the road love your stutter?